I read you a story. Okay? It's real story. It's about this one. The value of kindness. You be kind. Look at that. Once upon a time there was a girl named Elizabeth who lived in a great house in England. She slept in a soft bed and she wore pretty clothes. She ate fine food and on sunny days she played in the garden with her brothers and sisters. She should have been very happy, but she wasn't. I like being kind to people, she said, because it makes people happy. I wish I could go out and be kind to those people whom no one else thinks about. Next. There were days when Elizabeth was sad. It was on one of the days that a butterfly came flitting into her garden. She pretended that the butterfly was talking to her. "Don't be so sad, pretty lady," the butterfly said. "I will help you. I will be your friend." Although Elizabeth knew that she had made up the talking butterfly, it was fun to think having a butterfly as her friend. "Why are you sad, Elizabeth?" the butterfly asked. "Thank you." "I am sad because I am not being kind enough to people," said Elizabeth. "I live in a great house, I sleep in a soft bed, and I wear pretty clothes. Everyone is good to me. But I know that many people have no one to care for them or to be kind to them. That makes me unhappy." "I see. How that might trouble you," the butterfly said. "I just flew over Newgate Prison and it troubled me to see the way the women prisoners there have to live." "Oh dear," said Elizabeth. The butterfly rested on a flower. "I know what it's like to be in prison," it sighed. "I used to be a caterpillar and I live in a cocoon. I couldn't move around and I couldn't get out. It was like being in a kind it was like being in a kind of prison." "How dreadful," said Elizabeth. But she brightened up. "I know," she said. I'll go to see the women at Newgate Prison. Perhaps I can help them." So she went to prison. As she ran into the great house where she lived, she knew the women in prison didn't have pretty clothes. "I'll change my dress," she said. "I don't want to remind them that they don't have pretty clothes. They would just make them more unhappy." So she put on a simple gray dress and covered her head with a plain white hat. "I'll go with you," offered the butterfly, "but not if I have to change my clothes." Elizabeth laughed. Everyone knew that a butterfly couldn't change its clothes. Then Elizabeth told her father she wanted to visit the women at Newgate Prison. "No, Elizabeth," he said, "the women at Newgate prisons are criminals. They have been locked up because they did bad things. You are much too young to go among criminals. It's too dangerous. You might be hurt." But never mind, said her father. You may be young now, but you'll be older soon enough. Why not go and cheer up the people in the hospital now? And later you can visit Newgate. At first she was sad, but then she thought that's a fine idea. Off she went to the hospital, and she had a smile and kind word for everyone. The sick people were happy to see Elizabeth. They were glad that she cared enough to come and visit them. Elizabeth was busy and happy, and time passed quickly. She did get older, and she married, so she had a new last name. It was Fry. One day, Elizabeth Fry decided she was ready to visit women at Newgate Prison. Be careful, warned the butterfly. Excuse you. Some of the women were bad people even before they went into prison. But it is so terrible inside the prison that now most of them have become even meaner. The women are cruel to one another. They might be cruel to you. She went to the Newgate prison. Ooh, look at that. Elizabeth Fry wasn't afraid at first, but when she got inside the prison, she was very upset. It's frightful, she cried, so filthy, and the air is so bad that I can hardly breathe. Ooh. Okay? What a terrible way for anyone to live. It was indeed terrible. The women inside the prison had become lazy and dirty. They were uncombed and dressed in rags. They shouted and quarreled with one another. Why? Because they had nothing better to do. Besides, no one cared what they do. No one had ever taught them to be kind to one another. Oh no, said Elizabeth Fry. When two of the women began to fight, they tore each other like wounded animals. They swore and bit and kicked each other. Please, please stop, cried Elizabeth Fry. Achoo! Should we stop here? Should we continue later? Huh? Hold that there. So, what have you learned in our story? Well, our story didn't end yet. We'll continue later, okay? Yeah? You want to listen to the story? You okay? That's